Janarius Robinson, which is a name that's been around in Tallahassee, which feels like 5 years, practically that much. Was a Panama City, Florida product, came here to Tallahassee, dream school, played kind of just kind of inconsistent career at FSU, but has always had the physical attributes, the build, the frame to be an NFL player. He already had the size of that when he was in high school. A good kid, comes from a good family, and is going to be leaving Florida State. And you open up another spot. I mean, there's still more to talk about, but you open up another spot on the roster for potential more transfers or another scholarship. So he's off to the NFL.
And his was more of a personal off-field issue. Obviously, the stories that came out after 2018 when Hurricane Michael absolutely destroyed Panama City and destroyed the Panhandle. There was the big stories about how his home was destroyed. He did a lot of work raising money for people in that area. So that's more of a business move. He obviously needs the money to help get his family going. So, we wish the best for him and whatnot. And then obviously the other move, Marvin Wilson is going pro. Nasirildeen is going pro. I wish them the best. I don't think Marvin Wilson lived up to the hype this season. Good guy. I don't think, and I think Logan will agree with me on this one. I don't think anywhere close to where he was thought he'd be a first round pick. Many people speculate he could be a first round pick. I don't think he gets drafted first round this time. I don't even think he gets drafted the first 2 days, but wish him the best, and hopefully from there. Nasirildeen, Logan, you want to help me out on this one, because I don't know why. I don't get it. Once again, wish him the best of luck. I hope he goes. He's a FSU grad, so we wish him the best. But do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, no, that one's an interesting one. We weren't even really expecting him to come back and play this season after undergoing a season-ending injury against Florida at the end of the year last year. He comes back and just kind of out of nowhere wants to play a few games to end the season. He does play well. He has a takeaway and is able to get an interception just in this recent last game. And so he puts a few things on tape. But I do think he is going to excel in the NFL. He's a guy that is all over the place, man. He's a tackling machine. If he would have played this season, I think he would have been a first-round pick. But we didn't get to see him until the end of the season. Not much. He will be drafted. But I do think an NFL team is really going to like having him on there. It was just a weird situation. I kind of wish he would have came back, but then again, he was still contemplating even coming back this season. He was even going to try to maybe even go to or couldn't go on the combine because he's still injured. But this offseason, he was still going to enter his name into the draft. So he is an NFL talent, just such a weird situation for him this year. The Marvin Wilson thing, I don't understand how he was on the second team All-ACC. That completely shocked me. I don't know if I didn't really look around, but the ACC's defensive line unit, Jason, was it just terrible this season or something? Because I don't really know how that stat lines and playing really allowed him to get on that list. It shocks me.
I don't think Marvin Wilson deserved to be second team. I don't even think he deserved to be third team or even honorable mention. I think he was just on field. He was disappointing this season. He was just one of the many disappointments that was Florida State football in 2020. It was almost. I'll ask you, Logan, in all seriousness, was Marvin Wilson? Are you more disappointed in Marvin Wilson's play or the fact that the Steelers lost to the Bengals? Which one was disappointing for you?
I'd say more into the Steelers' loss, honestly. Yeah. That was pitiful.
Shout out to Baltimore Ravens football. Go Ravens.
Yeah. It doesn't get as worse, though, as after the season that was so hyped up to be about Marvin Wilson, first-round pick, top 10 pick almost. People were putting in draft boards. To have 11 tackles and 1 sack on the last season of your career at Florida State.
And I mean, I feel like he had to go. I feel like he had to go pro because, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, because if you try to transfer anywhere, I mean, I do give him credit that he does stay around the program, unlike Tamarion Terry did, where I think I'll go and say it right. I don't even want now. That Terrell Terry is going to be another topic once we get into the off season of topics to talk about. But Marvin Wilson at least stayed around the program, was out there at least watching him when I was at the game, seeing him interact, help the defensive tackles, go talk to the offensive line, and be there to support and bring energy. But that's about it, yeah.
Thank you, Alabama football fan. Roll Tide. Hit that like button. We'll talk in about 15 minutes. I see our North Carolina fans are here. They're happy. They're happy they'll be coming back down here for the Orange Bowl. We waxed Miami. So now, by the process, we beat North Carolina, and North Carolina waxed Miami. Mark, does that mean we're better than Miami at this point?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely.
We obviously weren't on September 26th when they shellacked us.
Just that one day. Sure.
It was just one day where they absolutely beat the hell out of us.
Yeah, the transitive property certainly rules over the head-to-head.
The 3 months later, we are better than Miami.
No doubt.
Okay.
So you got I'm looking at these NFL prospects here. Logan ran down the stat line on Marvin Wilson, and defensive tackle is not a stat position, but still.
Wait. Marvin Wilson had a stat line?
I had to go down the list a ways. It took me maybe 15 minutes to get down that far on their defensive stat list. But
I missed something this season?
Yeah. Really, basically 2 disruptive plays on the season, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, which counts in the tackle for loss. And you guys mentioned Janarius Robinson, 25 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. And Hamsah Nasirildeen, he was pretty productive the year before, right? As you guys mentioned, he just got onto the field for a couple games.
Yeah.
His was like Logan said. Once he got injured in the Florida game, that's where that one. And then he's the disappointment. The fact is that you would have liked to have seen what he could do, and there was some hope. There were a couple games where he was listed on the depth chart. Was he going to? And then he just didn't end up playing. But while we're in the secondary, let's actually give a shout out to Asante Samuel, first team All ACC. Yeah, and I will 100% admit I was wrong. When we came to the season, I expressed a little bit of doubt. There was a lot of preseason hype about him. I expressed doubt. He did come out and he played his butt off. I think he upped his draft stock plenty for upcoming in this April's draft. So shout out to him. First team All ACC on defense.
Yeah.
It's also really sad that we have 2 FSU players.
Carlos Williams, whenever he's talking about it on our podcast, he gets fired up, and I do too, because Timmy Jernigan is my favorite player to go through Florida State, him and Leon Washington. But the whole discussion of relating, it's over, right? It's relating Marvin Wilson and Timmy Jernigan together. Let me run you through it. Can I run you through this? And senior year of Marvin Wilson. It's
more the fact that you have Leon Washington. And I love Leon. I had plenty of classes with him. He was during my time at Florida State, so shout out to Leon Washington. But the fact that of all the players in Florida State history, your 2 favorite players are Timmy Jernigan, national championship winning defensive lineman.
Yep. And
Leon Washington.
Love them. That's why I love number 3, and I wore number 8 because of Timmy Jernigan in high school. Also Buster Davis.
God bless. Buster Davis 7, but okay.
No, he wears number 7, but Buster Davis. Marvin Wilson, senior year, 1 sack. Timmy Jernigan, senior year, 11 sacks. Stat lines of tackles, 35 for Timmy Jernigan his senior year, 11 for Marvin Wilson. I could keep going through this from every year by year, but they're all the same, and Timmy Jernigan annihilates Marvin Wilson. I hope there's never any kind of discussion of Timmy Jernigan being related to Marvin Wilson whatsoever. It's quite obvious now that the Marvin Wilson name was just kind of like a little hype thing for FSU fans to kind of just have their hopes and dreams be ripped away from them this season. And through it all.
You may still be drunk from what happened on Monday night when your Steelers lost to the 2-win Bengals, but neither Mark or I mentioned that Marvin Wilson was anywhere near.
But there's plenty of FSU fans that have.
But I'm not one of them. I'm not the FSU alum over here. Is not sitting here putting those 2 guys together. Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, he's not putting him in there. You may still.
But you just got to know, too, that there's also 50 people watching, and there will be about 2,000 more later on. So it's not just you and Mark.
Well, first of all, we're the only ones that matter. That's number 1. Number two, none of them are going to say that. No one is going to compare Marvin Wilson to Jimmy Jerk.
Well, I'm just saying throughout the beginning of his career and throughout heading into this offseason and heading into the season, people were relating these two names together, which I never believed in.
Logan,
I thought it was silliness. They were?